Hello, once again we are here in Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition, making some fan favorites from the Widowclan stream. Now the first time I recorded this I was very silly, and didn't have my microphone on, so this is take 2. First off, we're starting off with a, I think the fan favorite. I think it would be very difficult to find any of the cats in the stream that is more well-liked than Bluenut. We love Bluenut. We saw their name, we laughed hysterically, we did not stop laughing. Bluenut is the greatest. So Bluenut is, of course, our healer in Widowclan, and there will be spoilers for the stream here, so if you haven't seen the stream, either watch it or wait until I edit it down. It may be a little while, but I do intend to edit that down. Bluenut was our healer in Widowclan, who, as I said, had a very funny name. Could not resist making them healer of the clan. And I think we can all agree that we all went wild when we saw the name Bluenut. They had a bit of an unrequited crush on Coastwhisper. And the most popular ship of the stream was, of course, Coastnut, which I kept reading as Coconut. They are very much in lesbians with each other. They are both trans femme, so we love a couple good icons here. Small spoiler, maybe reasonable spoiler? Spoiler for the very end of the stream. They get together, they're expecting 3 kits, and by the end of the stream, they have 4. So, very cute couple together, and we will very excitedly wait to see more from them, because, of course, they are very much favorites. They are top of the list. Maybe I should have saved them for last to keep you watching longer, but I think the last cat in this trio of 3 is worth waiting for as well. Up next, we have a cat with her own fan club. Also very well liked during the stream, but not for the same reasons as Bluenut. This cat came to us as a kitten, the kitten of a loner named Perch Ivy, who was not very liked. Perch Ivy came here with her 3 kittens, but she only really ever paid attention to one of them. Her 2 daughters were kind of left behind. Perch Ivy clearly favored her son, Carppaw, as he was the only one she had any relationship with him that was in the green. The other 2, not so much. It was very obvious she had a favorite. And as the kits grew up into apprentices, the joke continued. It could have just been that one joke, oh, she's playing favorites, but no. When the kits became apprentices, the only one she showed up to the ceremony for was Carpaw, leaving poor Scorchpaw and Mightpaw behind. This, of course, is Mightpaw, the mightiest of little bloodthirsty apprentices. Because when poor Mightpaw and Scorchpaw grew up into apprentices, Scorchpaw became lonesome, and Mightpaw became bloodthirsty. We were a little worried that there might be a murder on our paws. Luckily, no murder did occur, but it was always considered. Both Scorchpaw and Mightpaw's mentors, first outing as apprentices, took them to watch bird nests, and how much better parents they are than Perch Ivy was to them. Great going. Wonderful choices. Not any resentment at all. Mightpaw was a bit of a trouble child. I mean, kind of neglected by her mother just a little bit. She never really got on with her quite as well as you might hope to get along with your mother. Little sad here. And yeah, she was very much a frightening thing. But she did eventually grow up into a fine warrior, and our dear Breeze Star gave her the name Mightfur. Like mites in her fur. Why, Breeze Star? We decided that this was not good enough, and we gave her a more befitting name. I put a poll in the chat, and we decided her name would be Mightbite, because she might bite you, and that might frighten you. We had a lot of fun with Mightpaw. We had a lot of fun with Mightpaw. She might bite. She might just fight you, or bite you, or smite you. Mightbite. We love a good Mightpaw. So this, of course, is Mightpaw in all her tail-lashing angry glory. She did grow up to be a more respectable cat. She lost the bloodthirsty trait, and I believe she became a good speaker? I don't remember what her personality trait was, but she grew up to be a respectable individual, and not quite as bloodthirsty and murderous. We love a good Mightpaw. Mightpaw might bite, but she might also not bite. I'm not funny today. I'm not funny tonight. It's okay. So, both Mightbite and Scorchclaw became respectable warriors despite their troubled upbringing. Scorchpaw was stuck in the medicine den for most of her apprenticeship after being hit by a monster, but Mightbite at least had the privilege of completing her training. Scorchclaw, poor thing, was stuck inside pretty much all day, despite Scorchclaw's mentor being Breeze Star himself. But nonetheless, they did both grow up to be respectable members of society. At the very least, maybe Scorchclaw, being with the medicine cat so often, chilled them out a bit, although they were never quite as murderous as Mightbite. And last, but certainly not least, we have, I maybe wouldn't say fan favorite, but he has his reasons for being here. Now, of course, Perch Ivy is terribly, terribly hated. I think there are very few members of the stream who did not hate Perch Ivy with every fiber of their being. And Perch Ivy's favorite child was Carppaw, her only son and oldest child. She poured all her attention into Carpaw, and, as I said before, he was the only one that she bothered to show up for their apprentice ceremony. Kinda telling. Now, eventually, they patched things up a little bit with their other two kits, but not necessarily for the best reasons. Now, Perch Ivy did go to mediation with one of her kits, possibly both of them, I can't quite recall, and they did improve the relationship, but it was not perfect. And it would not be perfect, and it still isn't perfect. She was kind of forced to bond with her other two children because Carppaw was not going to stay around. No, Carppaw was not going to stay around at all. And if you don't want all of the spoilers, I don't know why you're here. I warned you at the beginning. This is your last warning. Because Carppaw, poor dear Carppaw, would not survive to receive his warrior name. And Perch Ivy's favorite child wouldn't be anymore. He, of course, had everything he needed. He had the support of a caring and skilled mentor, the love and care from a mother who was not always the most loving and caring, and he had all the confidence to boot. We were a little bit worried that he would grow up to be self-centered and little too much in the ego department, but ultimately we never found out. Because one day, while he was patrolling the Mantis clan border with his mentor and another warrior, there was the scent of another cat in a tree. The cry for help came out too late. Too late for Carppaw, anyway. And a dog got him. Perch Ivy did not take her only son getting mauled to death by a dog very well. But it was not the last we would hear from Carppaw, as he sent a few messages to his would-have-been boyfriend Lizard Paw at the time, from StarClan, telling him perhaps it was time to move on. Lizard Dusk, of course, is heartbroken, and who knows what Carppaw thinks. But it doesn't matter now, because Carppaw rests solely in StarClan. Now, Widowclan will be returning. It was intended to be a one-off thing, but we just had too much fun. So Widowclan will return sometime in the future, but we will do normal clan gen in between then. The thing we need to remember with Widowclan is that they were around, they existed, and died out long, long, long before MothClan, AntClan, or BeetleClan were even founded. And the only remnants of this ancient clan are the loners and rogues that live in this territory today. And, of course, the remnants of StarClan, of Carpaw, and whoever else may perish in this series. So, bear in mind that, while we will continue with Widowclan, nothing that happens here has any real bearing on MothClan and the others, other than stories and things they pass down. But we may see Carpaw yet again, just in StarClan. But until then, I'm still bad at outros, and I will see you in the next one.